starting Be'ez Hashem Siman Tes Vav, Maimer Shal Shavuos, and the subject is in the last Siman. Rebbe brought down the Ramban. He's trying to explain why it's also to go back there to Israel en masse, even with permission. So one of the rise was the Ramban on Chumash, the Ramban Parashat Ki Savo, who said that the Ikar Kapara that we get and the Ikar Hatzalah and the promise that Hashem made to protect us is when we're in Galus. And therefore all the Klalos in Parashat Ki Savo are only said Kol Zman De'or in Eretz Yisrael. But when we come back, Shaloi B'Shus, then Chas Shalom, the Haftacha is batal. Haftacha stops being in effect. So that's the Ramban. So now in Siman Tes Vav he's going to bring the Or Chaim HaKadosh, who says similar thing in Parshas B'Chukai, except the Or Chaim HaKadosh makes it interesting thing. He makes it that the Yidden are asking this question: why do we have to be in Galus to have our kapara? Good, we did Averis, we needed to have a punishment. But let's get our punishment right here in Eretz Yisrael. Why do we have to go into Galus to get that? And the interesting thing about the Or Chaim HaKadosh is that he shows that there are two types of Yidden that ask this question. There's the Rasha, it's kind of like the Pesach Seder. There's the Rasha and there's the Chacham. They both ask the question, and the answer is different for them. So let's see inside.
But the Ramban and the Or Chaim HaKadosh themselves moved to Eretz Yisrael.
That's true. So the Ramban says that it's not Aser. The Ramban doesn't say it's Aser for a single Yid to go there to Yisrael.
Because they moved on their own. They didn't say everybody else must move with them.
Right.
I see.
That's a good point, but it's true. I mean, we don't paskin like Rabbi Huda. Any single Yid could move there to Yisrael.
Right, but nowhere do we find that they said their whole community, let's all move together with me to Eretz Yisrael. That we don't find anywhere.
Exactly. Okay, so Ba'ain Or Chaim HaKadosh Parshas B'Chukai say Ala Kasuf. V'hisvadu es avoinam. He doesn't bring the whole Or Chaim HaKadosh. I'm just going to say outside what the kashas are. It says v'hisvadu, they'll confess their sins es avoinam v'es avoin avoisam, and the sins of their fathers. And then the next pasuk says Afani elech imam bekeri ve'hevesi oisam beretz oiveim. I will go with them with chants, and I will bring them into the land of their enemies. So, Frek Or Chaim HaKadosh. First of all, why are they saying vidui on the sins of their fathers? If they're not doing it, they're doing tshuva, so then they're not going to be punished for their fathers. A person's only punished for their father if they didn't do tshuva, if they're following in the footsteps of their father. But here they're not. Here they're doing tshuva. That's number one. And number two, why does it say in the next pasuk, Behevesi Oisam, and I will bring them, Hashem will bring them into the land of their enemies? Why is that going to happen after they do vidui? After they do the vidui and they're doing tshuva, why are they getting punished again? So he says basically that the vidui that they're doing is for saying, up till then, when the Yidden were in Eretz Yisrael, they said, if Hashem wanted to punish us, He would have punished us already. So obviously what we're doing is right. So they continued in their bad ways because they thought they're not getting punished, it's okay. And eventually when they did get sent into Galus, then they said, okay, now we're going to be misvada on our own sins and our father's sins, because now we understand what was wrong. And then when he says v'hevesi oisam, that's included in the vidui that they're saying. They're saying it's not a new statement that Hashem will bring them into the land of their enemies. It's that they will say in their vidui, Hashem did correctly when He brought us into the land of enemies. Okay, let's see inside. He says Pirish. Gam zeh yoimru b'chlal vidui. These words v'hevesi oisam, that Hashem will bring them into Galus, that's part of the vidui. V'nei mimashem matzricham Hashem lisvadois alav. The Or Chaim HaKadosh says that from the fact that they had to say vidui for the fact that Hashem brought them into the land of their enemies, it sounds like they did an aveira, they did something wrong by asking why Hashem had to bring them into the land of their enemies. A person is a rasha for asking why should Hashem bring him out of their land, and put them into Galus among the nations. And here's part of the Rasha's kasha. He says, if he's trying to punish them for their sins, why doesn't he just give them a punishment right here in Eretz Yisrael? Don't send them into exile. Because if they go into exile, the Rasha argues, I'm just going to get worse. I'm going to learn from my surroundings. I'm going to go into assimilate among the nations. She'ima mevukashu lahetiv ma'aseim. If I'm trying to get better, hinei kashi Israel oisam ba'artzois yigmru la'asois ra. If they go into the nations, they're in other countries, they're going to learn to do bad from them. They'll mix with the goyim and they'll learn from their actions. That will make their machshava that Hashem does everything by chance even stronger. Therefore, when the pasuk says that they'll do tshuva and they'll say vidui, they will say vidui and they'll say Hashem was right for bringing us into exile. Okay? So that's the first piece of the Or Chaim HaKadosh. He says a person is a rasha for asking the question, and when they go into Golus, they're going to eventually say, yeah, we're sorry for asking this question.
Yeah, a person is always nervous if you always question Hashem's ways. That's not even the Kiddush, because anybody who questions Hashem's ways is obviously a rasha.
Right, okay. Well,
I guess
you're allowed to question, but in a different way. You're going to see the Chacham also questions, but he questions in a munadic way. He has a munah, he knows it's right, but he just doesn't understand why.
Eve asked only because he wanted to know more about Hashem, not because he wanted to make fun.
Right.
So Eve asked to know about a rasha just to make fun of. It's why Eve wasn't criticized for asking Hashem why, because he wanted to know, not because he wanted to poke fun of Hashem that it shouldn't happen to him. So Eve therefore wasn't wrong for asking, because he wanted just to know to make his emunah stronger.
Okay, so now he says, Yuyin Sham Sheherich Oid Behez Bradvarim. He writes the length over there, and then he says the second shtickle here about the Chacham. Oid Kostav Acher Kach B'Pasuk V'Af Gam Zois B'Yoisam. The end of the Torah, the last pasuk there, it says, even when they're in the land of their enemies, I did not forget them and I did not reject them. So he says, Ki Hashem noisein tam lahakpadas kol chacham leiv. Hashem is answering the question of every wise man who says, Lama yagla Yisrael me'artzoi. Why should he send the Yidden into Golus, into the exile? Why doesn't he punish them right here in Eretz Yisrael? Mishpat teit ashura mini yorech. The mishpat for going off the derech. So on that, the pasuk says, "Afgam zoi, afgam tam zeh." Even this reason, v'hu be'emtzois havasam be'eretz oivehem, is only because they're in the land of their enemies. He says, "V'chulu loy me'astim l'chaloisem." I didn't reject them and destroy them. Al derech oimram zal, according to what Chazal say, ki Hashem hishlich hamas al eitzim ba'avonim l'mal yam b'nei Yisrael. The Chazal say that the Hashem took out his anger on the sticks and stones of the Beis Hamikdash and saved the Yidden. Okay, and that's why it says, Mizmor Elokim Bo Goyim Nachal Asecha.
The Zionists commonly try to use that as a right to themselves.
Why?
Because they say it corresponds to our time. The Goyim are coming, into Eretz Yisrael, right? Take over.
Yeah, Elokim Bo Goyim Nachal Asecha. But it
proves the opposite. The whole goal is happening as a kapara.
It's a kapara, right? So Hashem took out his anger.
But they say it to him with a tefillah for the Zionist state. No, it's true.
Spittle iron test, right?
Yeah, they say it to him as a prayer for Israel, thinking that corresponds to the situation.
Because so he says, so that's what the pasuk is saying here. Hevesi yoisam be'eretz oiveim and loy ma'astim. I brought them into the land of their enemies,
yes.
And that's why I didn't reject them. Gam yisoivev rachamav v'tich b'shmiras hadin b'rois am elyon b'nei malachim shveilim b'yad oiveim. Another reason for being in Galus is that when Hashem sees us under and humbled under our enemies, and even though we're an Am Elyon, we're a high people and we're the sons of kings, but we're still low in the hands of our enemies, he says, V'zeh yisoivev shiflam shaloi tichle oisam midas hadin, shaloi tichala oisam midas hadin. Their lowliness causes that the midas hadin should not, chas v'shalom, destroy them. And that's what the pasuk says. And this is also a reason why they have to go into the land of the enemies. Because davka when they're in the land of the enemies, I didn't reject them to destroy them. And that's why I chose such a punishment.
Well, so the Chacham asks because he wants to know, how can I do tshuva, or how do we do tshuva with wanting to do it?
Right,
The Rav just wants to make fun.
Right, and not only that, you're going to see in a minute, he wants to make fun and he wants to reverse the situation, like the Tzionim. He wants to say, look, we're not supposed to be here in Galus, let's get out of here.
Because you the Russia by the Seder said, they don't need the Avoda, all we need to have is the freedom. Because he just says Maha Avoda, not Maha Gula. Because all the Russia wants is no Avoda, and he wants to get rid of it as quickly as possible. Allah wants to know more how to do the Avoda more.
Good, that's the Russia by the Seder, right?
Yes.
So he says, V'hein heima divrei Ramban zal. This is exactly what the Ramban says. Ki b'yoysem be'eretz oiveim, v'zen mismayid hakitrug. That when they're in the land of the enemies, they're the midas hadin, the Hashem's judgment against them, his accusation against them becomes less. V'ein midas hadin mechalo oisam. They don't get destroyed. V'omku machshavoyse v'izbarach shemoy gam bozeh. And that's why Hashem's thoughts are so deep and plans are so deep to make this happen. And
also, Golus is instead of Gehenna.
That's the
Goy get Gehenna, but Yisrael get Golus.
Avraham Avinu chose.
So the Goy were wiped out forever because they had no Olam Haba.
Ela shetzarich lahavin. So now he asks, why is he a Rasha and why is he a Chacham? What's the difference between the two questions? So he says, Tzarich lahavin l'chayr elu shnei ha'ma'amorim she'eveisim midivrei Or HaChaim HaKadosh. She'b'maimer arishin kasav she'arasha hu she'omer lama heim ba'artzos eveim. The first one, he says that for asking that question, he's called a Rasha. Ula asi disvadu al zem. They're going to eventually do tshuva on that. Uva ma'amer ha'sheni. But in the second piece, kasav ki hakpadas kol chacham leiv b'zeh. It's a wise of heart person who asked the question. Uva emes einu muvan. It's a big question. Lama yehei nikra Rasha al she'el azu. Stamazoi, without the stira, why should a person be called a Rasha for asking the question? Shetzricha lichoyer tam vehezber. It's a good question, right?
Yeah.
Omnam muvan adavar ki bevadai kol chachmei leiv mitztarim bazeh al shetzrichim lo isei davar. Really, every wise yid has this question: why does he have to have galus? Lios ba'artzos evim. Why does he have to be among their enemies? V'zeh nikra hakpadas chacham leiv. That's a good question of a chacham. At the same time they ask the question, they still have emunah. They still believe that Hashem wouldn't do something for no reason.
Like Iyov fully agreed that it happened for a reason, but just wanted to know what, for sake of strengthening his emunah. Iyov denied in any way, denied Hashem like his wife did, and said, so it's all over. Hashem did that.
Hashem nos and Hashem lakach.
Yes.
They believe in the Torah. They see that there's such a thing as galus. It's not just a chance occurrence like the Zionists think, right? I'm going to bring a lot of proofs that this is not just a chance. This is what Hashem wants. So they don't have any sfekus in their emunah because of this. They don't say anything against his will. The Rasha says bad things, and he says, accusations to Hashem. So he says this statement that the Or HaChaim HaKadosh makes, that the Rishonim are going to ask this question, that was almost like a prophecy about today, because ki achshav harashaim misatfim bedvarim koelu. The Rishonim ask these kind of questions today, and they use it as a springboard for action.
And even non-Zionism, a lot of Jews say, for example, if Shabbos will promise so much good after the Holocaust, why did the Holocaust happen? And they start keeping Shabbos. So many Jews ask many things and decide to go off the dare from the Holocaust, because if there's so much good problem, why it happened to us? Zionists use it, but at the same time, Jews, those who are off there, do the same thing on the Holocaust.
Right. But now the Zionists take it and they say, never again. This is what we're going to do to fix this. It should never happen. So they're doing this. They're taking this galus and they're using this question of the Rasha and they're using it as a springboard for action to do something about it, to reverse.
It should never happen again.
Okay, Adkan.